In this session, I am going to solve the problem number 10 in the part B of Java lab. So let's look at the problem number 10 first. So in the part B, you have the last problem, that is the problem number 10. Here we are supposed to create a program using the swing component. We are supposed to design a frame for shopping a book. This particular frame accepts the book code, the book name, and the price. We are supposed to calculate the discount based on the code of the book. Suppose if the code of the book is 101, then the discount rate is 15%. If the code is 102, the discount is 20%. If the code is 103, discount is 25%. For any other, we are supposed to use the discount as 5%. We are supposed to show the discount amount and the net bill amount. So let's proceed with the NetBeans. I'm going to go to the NetBeans and I'm going to go to the file and new project. I'm going to select under the project dialog box, I'm going to select the Java application as my project, and I'm going to click next, and I'm going to give a name called as shopping book. You can give anything, shopping book. I don't hope that name is not there. Okay, so I'm going to just finish it off. I have the shopping book with me. Let me close the other thing there. So let me go and search for the shopping book. And you may have too many programs like this in your ID. In that case, if you don't want any project which you have created, not your other batches have created, if you want to get rid of them, right click here and then say delete, and it's going to delete the project from your system. So now coming to the shopping book here, click on the plus sign to expand it, click on the plus sign to expand it, click on the plus sign to expand it. This is the package in which you already have a class that is created by the NetBeans, and that is shopping book, which is same as the project name. And this class has static void main. That is why you see that symbol. That means this class can you can run this particular class because there is static void main. On the other side, you notice that it has already created shoppingbook.java, and there is static void main method inside that. What am I going to do is I'm going to create a, let's right click on here, and I'm going to create a class. So just go here, right click on the package, not somewhere else. On the package you right click and say new Java class. Click on the Java class. You get a dialog box like this. You give any name. I'm going to give it a name as book. You can give any name. You can, I'm going to take it as book, which is the default. Okay, now this book is supposed to have a few things. Let's look at what are the few things that this book is supposed to have. This book is supposed to have the code, name and price. Let me take those variables. I will not use the word book because it is already there inside the book. So let me zoom in for you. I'm going to take these variables must be there. Let me bring them in a straight line. Okay, so this the price also. Okay, this, okay, this must be there. I'm going to use these variables. I'm going to declare them not as an integer, not as float, or not as something else. What is that we are supposed to do is we are supposed to create a window like this with a title, and we are supposed to accept the book code. Okay, so this title says shopping. Anything you can, not hopping, it is shopping. Okay, so shopping, okay. And this must accept the code, this must accept the name, this must accept the price. Another calculation you are supposed to do it. So this thing must be there. All of them are called in the world of Swing the text box. That is, you generally see a text box like the one that you see here. Okay, if you want to search, you see a box like this wherein you can type. Okay, this is called as a text box in Visual Basic, but when it comes to the Java, we call it as a text field, and because it is a swing component, we start with the J and we say text, T-E-X-T. That's enough for NetBeans to give the hint. I press the control space. NetBeans will say, is it a text area? Okay, no, I want text field. You see there, it's just a Java x.swing text field, lightweight component, and so on and so forth. Press enter. When I press enter, NetBeans automatically imports the Java J text field. It has imported that. Okay, so that is done with me. Okay, these are the variables. So this variable is not the double, this is not the string, this is just a text field. Let me get the constructor for it. I can type the constructor, or if you press control space on a blank area like this. So if you press the control space, NetBeans will give you in the blank area. If you press the control space, NetBeans will give you suggestion, and the first suggestion is, do you want to create a default constructor, and the other one is a constructor with the parameter. I'm going to create the default constructor. Okay, you can type them, but you can save the time during the examination if you do that thing. Okay, what are the things that I require? I require a window. So first thing is I require a window. Window is nothing but you have seen in Windows, you have seen this window with the close button here, and minimize, maximize maybe there. Okay, and some title at this side. Okay, so this is the window. We are supposed to create that window. How do I create the window? In Java, that is called as JFrame. So I'm going to say JFRAME. Okay, it is also a swing component. When I select it, NetBeans would have added the import statement java x.swing.frame. I'll call it as JF equal to new JFrame. Okay, I'll select that thing. Remember, I'm not typing much. I'm asking the NetBeans to fill the content. The reason for it is Java is case sensitive, and if you don't type it properly with the proper case, upper and lower case, your program will not get compiled. So when I select the option from the NetBeans, I'm very sure that the case, that uppercase and lowercase, is already taken care by the NetBeans. So let me press enter. NetBeans will give you a lot of suggestion. I'm going to take the second suggestion over here, and I'm going to supply the title for this. Okay, so title is what is the title? I'm going to say shopping. This is what I said. You can say shopping, a book, and so on. So I'm going to select the shopping. Okay, then okay, I'm going to say at the end, I'm going to say JF, and I am going to say set visible is equal to true. I'm going to just run this program. Okay, how do I run this program? I have to get the instance of the book. Okay, instance of the book. Where do I get the instance of the book? In the same class you can do it, but I have one more class over here called as shopping book. In this, I just create a instance. This shopping book was already there, automatically created by the NetBeans. I'm going to go to the main, static void main. You can type the static void main in this class also. Suppose if you are using Notepad, you can type the static void main as one method here and then do it. I'm going to just say book B is equal to new book. I'm instantiating, that's it. New book, that's it. Suppose if I run this project, what is going to happen? Okay. Suppose if I run this particular project, you notice that I am going to get you can see there a small, I don't know whether you will be able to see that thing. Okay, I'm going to just expand this, and it is very difficult for me. Okay, let me slightly do it. You're going to see you're going to see a window like this, but it appeared like here because I didn't specify the size. What is the size? Is it this size, this big, this big? I have not specified that thing, but you got a window with the title like this. And you notice over here, very important thing, you notice here is it is running. Okay, program is running. Very important, very critical and very important. What is that? Suppose if I close this, you know very well, you are used Windows and you just close this. If I close this, the window is still running. The program has not closed. What is the situation? What has happened? When you close the window, you are making the visibility of it. You said visible is true. What is the meaning of saying visible is true? Is the window should be visible to you. You create a window and that window should be visible to you. And then you press the close button. But when you press this close button, you didn't say anything to the Java that when I close this, the program must end. You must exit out of that thing. Okay, you didn't mention that thing. So Java thinks that I have shown you. You said set visible equal to true. That means you are showing visible. You know, the window has to be shown visible. Okay, so set visible equal to true. Then Java thinks that okay, I am supposed to show that thing window to you, and you set close here. So when you click on this close here, X mark. So Java thinks that you don't want to show that window, but you still want to continue with the program. So it is still running the program. You notice here in this place it is still running. So what to do in that case now? I'm going to go over here and you see a small X bar here that will close the application, and the program will say that do you really want to close it? Yes. Now first and foremost thing, you fix that problem. So when I close that button, the program must exit. How do I do that thing? So I'm going to go to the book here, and in the book set visible is the last thing that I'm going to do it. Okay, I'll do everything. You know, if you are preparing a cake, you don't start eating the cake. You first prepare the cake, you put all the decoration, and then finally you present that cake. So set visible is last part. Before that we will do lot of things. What is the first thing I'm going to do? This is JF, not JF dot what is the first thing? I'm going to say set default close operation. So if you notice that you must specify one of the following for that. Do nothing, do, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of constants are there. Let me go set default close operation. Okay, so what is that I'm going to say? I'm going to say exit. Okay, close on where is the thing gone? Okay, well, let me give you the full option here, then I will start. Okay, I'll get back to it because I want some help from the NetBeans. Set default close operation, and you notice that there are a lot of options. Do nothing is one option. Don't do anything. That was the default one. Okay, hide on close, dispose on close, exit on close. You see that exit on close is going to call system.exit, and it is going to close. Okay, the entire application. That is what I wanted. So I'm going to say exit on close. Okay, I'm going to select that thing, exit on close. Okay, JFrame exit on close. Okay, this is the shortcut. Now I don't know why it didn't like that in the first place. Anyway, okay. Now you can do what you can do here is you can just say java dot swing dot star, because it is already there. It should have this particular thing. I'm going to just delete that thing because that's not really, oops, sorry, things are going bad. Okay, I'm going to, if I delete this, let's see whether it is able to take. Okay, it's not able to take it. Okay, then I'll keep that thing. Okay, so it is supposed to, where is the dot go? It is supposed to use the exit on close directly, but anyhow, that import statement, even though I have imported JFrame, it is still not able to get it. But in any case, this is the option that you are supposed to do. What does this particular option will do? Let's look at that part first. You must understand this part first whenever you are playing with the frames. If I run this particular project now, no doubt I get a window which is very small. Okay, I know very well. I have not set the any dimension for that because I have set the default operation. What is the default close operation? When I click on this close button, I want the application to close. You see this part running here. You notice this part, the program is running. Now I am going to click on this X mark here, and you notice what's going to happen in this thing. When I click on close, your application will also close automatically. That is what I wanted. So remember that thing, otherwise your application will be running continuously in the background. So now let's fix the next thing, and that is the size. So I have to set the size. So JF is my frame, that the window that you got is called as the frame, and I'm going to say set size. So set size, I'm going to specify the width is 400 and maybe height is 300. You can specify anything. If this value is smaller, you can adjust those values. Now I have set the size. Let me run it again and let's see what's going to happen. Now you see it's not coming like a small box here. It has come with the width is 400 and with the height 300. So you got it. Okay, now I'm going to arrange them in a proper way. So like table, you've seen this table tabular arrangement in rows and columns. I'm going to arrange them in rows and columns so that it looks beautiful. Okay, so how many things will be there? So first I'm supposed to import the code. Next I'm supposed to import a name, input a name, then the price. Then I'm supposed to, according to the problem, I am supposed to show the discount amount, the net amount, and then two buttons. I'm going to put two buttons here for clearing and computing. So how many rows will be there? 1 2 3 4 5 6. So I need 6 rows. So 6 rows and 2 columns. Okay, so I'm going to do that thing. How do I do that thing? Okay, this is called as layout. How do you set the layout? So let me go here and let me go and say that JF, I think I will set the layout first itself. So you can do it this or other way. JF dot set layout. Okay, and I'm supposed to set it in the layout as an object. Okay, so there is a layout manager is there. You have to set them. So what is the meaning of it is you have the window here, and you can arrange the component in different ways. Not it is not only tabular arrangement. You can arrange it in any different way. To oversee all this, how these things are getting arranged, you have a manager, and you have to call that manager. So I'm going to say new. Okay, I'm going to use the grid layout. Okay, so I will use the grid layout. So you notice that a grid layout, okay, it is going to arrange in a rectangular grid. The grid is nothing but row and column. So here you are supposed to specify how many rows will be there. 6 rows are there. and how many columns will be there? 2 columns will be there. This is what I said, 6 rows with the 2 rows and column. Now suppose if you run this, particular thing, what are you going to, you will not notice any different. But what is there in turn, what is there is, there is a grid with the 6 rows and 2 columns. So like this grid is there, but it's not visible. Okay, you didn't make it visible. You can set the property and make it visible. Let's go ahead and let's continue with the next part. Whenever I create a grid like this, I'm going to first specify here in this location. I'm going to say first specify a word here, code, and in front of it I'm going to get the text box. So that is what I'm going to do it. So let's let me do that particular thing. So I'm going to add to this frame, the frame that you have, I'm going to add some text. Now adding text is called as a label. You put the label, in your for your books you put a label. Similarly, you are putting a label here. How do you do that thing? I'm going to say add a jf is my frame, jf dot add, and it says, okay, what's the name of the component? The name of the component is new, because I want to create a instance. Remember, in Java you are supposed to create an object. So new J label. Again, I'm asking the NetBeans by pressing Control space, and the NetBeans will say, are you talking about the label? Okay, and I will give a name to this one. The name is code. Okay, so let me run it now, and just to show you how is it going to appear. The code will come. Can you see that code has come here? But let it come wherever it is. The code has come. Okay, beautiful. In front of this code, I'm going to put a text box. Now, because I want to read the content of this text box, I can't do it like this. Suppose if you do like this, you don't have a control. Suppose if you want to change that thing, you don't have a reference to this object. Look at here. When I created the object here, I have a reference to this object, so that I am adding, I take this reference as JF, then I set the default close, default set layout, set size, and so on and so forth. I have a reference. Whereas for this label, I don't have reference. Suppose tomorrow, if you say, okay, change this code in your Java, it's not possible, because I don't have a reference to that particular object. Okay, but do I need it? The answer is no. I don't really need any reference to this, because in the program I'm not going to change any text that is displayed here. This is a static text, so let it be like this. Now I need a reference to them, the text box, because I want to know the code. According to your program, based on the value of the code, you are supposed to take action. So that means whatever somebody is typing here in this text box, that is going to come very close here. Whatever somebody is typing here, I want to read that value. So I need a reference to this text box, otherwise it's not going to work. So what I'm going to do is I will initialize all of them. Okay, I need a reference to this code name. I may not require anything, but the price I need, because I need them for calculation. So I'm going to initialize here. So how I have initialized the JFrame here, in the same way, very well. We do it in a very neat way. Even though when I'm talking, I'm typing something at the top, other one at the bottom, but at the end you must show it in a neat way. Okay, so I will type, can I type it here? The answer is yes, but at the end, when I complete the code, when I complete my program, things don't look nice. So that's why I'm putting it here. So code is equal to new, this is J text field. You notice that this is J text field, so you are supposed to create J text field. And if you want, you can specify the width. I will say 20, size is 20 columns. So what is the meaning of it is it's going to appear, a text box will appear with the size 20. Okay, Let me add that thing to the JFrame. So how do I add it? I'm going to go here and I'm going to add it. So I will just add one space here so that you know that I created here the code I created here, and I'm going to add it jf.add. To add a component, a simple word add and code. And by the way, NetBeans knows what I'm trying to do, add code. So I created a text field and I am added. Now when you run it, it may not look properly. Right at the beginning it may not look nice, but you just run it. Okay, it may not come. You notice that, hey, where is the grid? You may say that, hey, so you said that there is a two column here, one on this side, one on the other side. Don't worry, but this will come here on the other side. It's going to come. Don't worry about that. It's going to come. Okay, you keep on adding and finally you see it, it's going to come. Initially it may not come the way you expect it to come. So you expect the code to come on the text box. This is the text box. You see that this text box to come over this location, not below it, but it's going to come. You add all the component and you will get them in the proper order. Okay, so that's for the first part. And next I'm going to read the name of the book. So let me do that thing. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to say jf dot add, and I'm going to use a new label. First I'm put the label label, and I'm going to say label is name. Okay, that's enough. Okay, let me run it and let's show you. Let me run it and then show it. Initially it will not appear like the one you expect it to come here. Please ignore that. So just pretend that it is coming here. This text box is coming here. Okay, it just pretended. So then you have the name in front of it. I want the text box to come. So, and I need a reference to this text box. So this is the text box, that is the text field to appear, that is the name to be appeared here. So how do I do it? Like the code, I'm going to instantiate it and then add it there. So let's instantiate that. Let me close this one. Let me instantiate this and let me say name equal to new j text field. Okay, and let me set the size as 20. Okay, done. Once I have, this is called as instantiation. Once I have it here, I'm going to do jf dot add, and I'm going to say not the code, this time it is the name. Okay, so let me again run it. You will notice that the things are not coming properly, but it's all right. Okay, so you notice that it is putting one below the other. You may say that, hey, what is this? You said it is supposed to come on the other side, but it is coming one below the other. Let's pretend that it is coming over here. So you have the code, you have the name, and then you have the two text box in front of it. Okay, that being done, let's go ahead with the next part, the last part. Last, I am supposed to use the price. Again, I'm going to do the same thing. jf dot add, and I'm going to say new label. First, I'm going to put the label label, not this label, j label. Let me zoom in for you. Okay, j label, like how I did before, and I'm going to say price, and that done. Okay. Also in front of it, I'm going to add how I have added the name. I'm going to instantiate this price. Let me make this as in small case, a small p, because c is in small case and n is in small case, then p must be in small case. So all the variables, so if you start with the small case variable name, then put them as all as a small case, not one in the capital, one in small case. It will be confusing. So let me say price is equal to new, again j text field, and let me take it as 20. That done. So I have the price here, and finally I'm going to add that. Okay, j dot add. I'm going to say add. Okay, and what is the name of it is the price. Okay, done. Okay, so let me save and run again. We run it. And you say that okay, it is sir, what is this again? You said it is coming and it is not. Okay, have patience. It's going to come. Okay, don't worry. It is assume that the text box is supposed to come here, but it has not come. Don't worry, it's going to come. Let's add the next one. So what is the next thing that I am supposed to do is I have added like this. You were supposed to create like this. Let me show it. First you set the code, and there must be a text box in front of it. Then you set the name, okay, and in front of it there is a text box. Then you have a price, in front of it you have a text box. Now I am supposed to show what is the discount, okay, not a discount, and I am supposed to show that a discount here, and I am supposed to show the net price, that is the after discount what is the amount. Suppose say it's like suppose say the price here is 100 rupees and the discount is 25 rupees. So what is the net price now? 75 rupees. Okay, I'm supposed to show that thing. Okay, and definitely I need two buttons to carry out my actions. So I'm going to put this discount and net, two things. Let's go ahead and let's do that thing. So I need the reference for discount. So I'm not going to take the discount DISC. I'm going to take discount is not the, I'm sorry, I'll take the variable first. So I'll take the two additional variable. Like have I taken this one? I'm going to take the J label. Let's start with J label, DIS discount, DIS, and net price. Two variable I'm going to take it. One is discount and label. Why I took label? Remember when you take there is a difference between a text box and label. Let me run and show you. Now when you run this particular code, in the text box you can type something. Okay, in the text box you can type something. In the label you can type something. It is a static text. Now I don't want somebody to type the discount on their own. Discount has to be calculated and it has to be just shown to the user. So there is no need to put make the discount as the text box. It is supposed to come as a label. That is why I am putting it as label. Like the previous case, I am going to instantiate the discount. So I am going to say DISC is equal to, let me zoom in for you, new, this is label, not the text box, so don't be careful. Discount is label, not the text box. New J label. Okay. For your information, I'm going to just put the value as 0. Just I'm going to put the value as 0 so that you can see that 0. Okay, like the previous case, I'm going to add this discount. I have added the code, the name, the price. I'm going to do the same thing. So first jf dot add new j label. Remember this is the static text that I am showing. New label, okay, called discount, DISCOUNT. Okay, discount. Now this is the static label. Let me run it and just show you. Okay, this is it. Now can you see it? Can you see it? It has come. Okay, so this is what you are supposed to get it. Now code, in front of code you are going to type the code. In front of name you are going to type the name. In front of price you are going to type the price. In front of discount you are actually going to show that discount. Okay, so this is the static label. These are all static. Here you will get a dynamic label. What's the meaning of saying dynamic label? You can set the value in the code. Within the Java you can set the value because you didn't take the reference to this. Okay, so I have the reference to that DISC here. You see this DISC, even though it is a label, I have a reference to that. Now let me add that thing. So let me zoom in again. JF dot add, okay, and I'm going to say DISC. Okay, done. So how is it going to appear? Let me run it again and I'm going to show you how is it going to appear. It's going to appear like this. So discount is 0 now.
Okay, next what I'm supposed to say, net amount. If you want to say discount amount, I know discount amount, otherwise some people may say discount in percent or something. Should I say discount amount here? So it's going to be easier if you see discount amount. Can you see that discount amount? That I'm just changing the word here, discount amount. Okay, let me add the last part. I'm going to instantiate this net here. So let me add that net here, net price. It is a new j label as j label, and let me just say it is 00. Okay, 0. This is not really required, but without that also blank also you can add it, but just it's going to look neat when you add them. Okay, this is the label. As usual in the previous case, you add the discount amount and the discount. So I'm going to say jf dot add, and what is this, new j label. First the static text, new j label. Okay, and I'm going to say net price. Okay, so first thing, how is it going to appear? If you run this one, if you run this is how it's going to appear. Net price, can you see that? Net price, and the price has to come here. You have to get that price. Okay, this must dynamically come depending upon the value of the price and the value of the code. These two values must change dynamically. So that is what you are supposed to do it. So let's go ahead and let's do that part. So I'm going to add this object, that is net. I'm going to add that thing. Okay. jf dot add net. Now almost it is not done, almost your thing is appearing properly. Okay. Last thing I want is two buttons. One is to clear, the other one is to compute. Clear means this clutter whatever is there, I want to just clear it. Done. Let me take two buttons. They are called as button. You know, you are familiar in Windows. This is a button. Okay, so let's create a two buttons. Let me take two buttons here. So I'm going to take a J button. You can take anything, J button. I'll use the word button clear. This is the first button. Button compute. Two buttons I'm going to use. You may say, oh, this is very lengthy word, I can't type it. If you can't type it, use a small word, BTN1, BTN2 or B1, B2. You can take it. Okay. But because I want to make the code self-readable, slightly good to read, I'm doing it. For your examination, you can take it as B1, B2. Okay. Now, as usual, let me instantiate it. So, how do you instantiate it? BTN is equal to new J button. It is not a J label. Remember, you've taken it as a button here. So this is button. So you can't instantiate it as a label or text. J button, and I am going to give a name to this button. And what is the name to this button is clear. Okay, the button, not BTN, clear was there. Okay, let me, okay. Button clear. And I'm going to add that button. I'll go here. There is no label is already there inside that button, so you don't need to add one more label here. So I'm going to say jf dot add, and I'm going to say btn clear. Let me put a semicolon, and oops, why I'm pressing that Windows button. Okay, so let me run it. And what you notice is you have one button. Clear button has come here, and definitely one more button is going to come in this area, and that is going to be your compute. So that with that our design will be over. So let's quickly design that thing. As usual, I'm going to instantiate this button compute first. So I'm going to do that thing. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to say btn compute equal to, like in the previous case, new j button, okay, J button, and I'm going to give a text to this. And what is the text? I'm going to say compute. What is the word? Compute, calculate, any word will be okay. So computer, I have created this button, instantiated this button. Let me add that button. So immediately you're going to add that button, jf dot add. So you got that, jf dot add. And what is this? btn compute. Done. Let's run it, and let me save and run it, and you got the button. Wow. So everything is fine. Now you are going to type the code as 101, and the name is anything, doesn't make the sense. Price is 100 rupees. What is that? You are supposed to do it. Okay, if you go over here and if you notice in the question, and the question says that if you type the code as 101 and the discount amount is 15%, so you have to calculate 15% of 100 and show it here. When I press this compute button, that thing has to happen. Okay, when I press the clear button, everything should vanish, so that is a different thing. So when I press the compute button, it has to calculate the discount amount and it has to calculate the net price. That has to be shown. So what is the discount? In this case 15 rupees is the discount. What will be the remaining amount? 85 rupees will be the amount that has to be shown here. Okay, so let's do that thing. So what is that I am supposed to do is when I click on this button, something has to happen. So when I click on this button, now nothing is happening. If I click, nothing is happening. So when I click on this, somebody has to listen to this click, okay, and then take action. Now who is going to listen? This button has to listen to the click event. Now this button is not listening to the click event. When I click it, it say I don't care, but I want it to listen to my click event and then take the action. How do I do that thing? Let me go to the code here. So I have added this button. Remember your if you notice that set visible is at the end. Remember, we do everything and then finally we say set visible. Okay, you can do, if you want, you keep the set visible now. But I will make the set visible at the end. Suppose if you keep it now, after this, if you make it set visible equal to true, suppose if you do like this, it is okay. Technically it is okay because you have designed your GUI. Now you can make it, you can show that GUI to the user and say that okay, that this is the GUI. You do the calculation, but compute is not yet been done, but I will do that part and then set to visible at the end. Now maybe I think I will do it here itself, because when you study for the examination you may miss out that altogether. Let it be visible and then I will take the action. Okay, let everything be visible. So what is the meaning of it? Let the GUI be ready and then I'm going to take the action. Okay, so let's go ahead with that button. What is that button? I want to compute something, so I'll go to this btn dot compute. C capital was there, so I'm using camel casing there. So I'm going to add something. Now this I cannot add anything. Add means add component. Add, some action is performed and I want it to listen. So what is the meaning of it is, so let me take it out. Let me take this out and then run it. So some action is being performed on your button. Okay, that is a click action. You want that button to listen, this button to listen to that action. By default it will not listen, like this student, they don't study until there is an examination. So similarly there must be something. So I'm going to say add action listener. Okay, so action listener takes one parameter called as add action listener. Okay, so this is actually an interface. So I'm going to say new. Okay, and you have lot of things over here. Okay, so new action listener. You notice here one important thing. This is not a class. This symbol says it is a class. it is an interface. So interface is a contract, and if you take that contract, you have to implement the method. So this is a contract. I press this one, I select it and press enter. In Java is going to say I am going to create an anonymous object to you. Okay, object without any name, I will create it. NetBeans will say, not Java. If it's okay, press enter. I said okay, do it. Okay, so first important thing, if you go up here, NetBeans has added all the import statement for you, so without spelling mistake. That's very important. Sometimes you make it as small case, this is small case, this is small case, and you are lost altogether. But that's not the case. It is done beautifully. Okay, done. Now let's go to this action listener. Can you see that? So it has done that thing. So it has done one action, but because NetBeans has done it, it just adds one extra line saying that it is not yet supported. No code is available to you, so it will throw an exception. If you run it, it will throw an exception. But I don't want it to throw an exception. So what I'm going to do is right in front here. I'm going to click here right in front. And you must notice that this closing bracket is required. You don't delete that closing bracket. So click here, drag down and go back so that you leave that closing bracket. Sometimes you accidentally delete it, so then you are in, then even though you have a NetBeans, you will mess up. Okay, so drag down and just take it back, leave that closing button here, press delete button, and that's it. Now I'm going to press enter. I have this function with me called as action perform. Here I'm supposed to perform the action. First I will read two things. Now if you notice, if you run the code, nothing is going to happen. It is now, only thing is it is listening. Okay, but it's not doing anything because you have not written any code. What are the things I want? I want the code and I want the price. I want these two things. That is required. Okay, and the code, I assume that it is integer, because in the problem it is given code is 101, 102 and so on. So I assume that this is an integer. Price, you know very well, it is double, and the discount can be double because there is fraction. There is going to be fraction in the net amount also. So let me create a few variables here. The first variable is integer, int p. I will not int p, one variable, double int code, not, I'll take it as code, not this one, code for C for code, P for price, D for discount, N for net amount. Okay, so I've taken this one. If you are running this particular code, it's going to run, no doubt about it. If you run it, so what I'm taking is, I've not done it, I've just taken the variable code, this one, price, this one, discount, and the other. So two variable. Now I have to read the value from this text box. I have to read that value and store it inside C. Read the value from this text box or text field. How am I going to do it? Let me close it and do it. So I will go here. Okay, C is equal to, what is this text box after all? So you see this text box here. Let me take it and run it. Okay, you see this text box. This text box, what is the name of this text box? Who is referring to this text box? If you notice here, this text box is referred by this variable code is referring to that. So you said, you see here, add code and then add this. Okay, so code is referring. So I'm going to say C is equal to code dot, remember, it's a text box, code. It's a text box. I want to get the value, so I'm going to say get text. Now it's going to return a string value. So when you run it from the text box, you get the string because it's a text box. You know, text means a string. But on the other side, you have integer. C is an integer. So Java says this is not going to work. You can't give me string and fool me and say that that is number. You give me proper. What to do in this case? I am going to use the integer class. You are familiar with the integer. What is it called as, by the way? Integer dot. There is a option called as parse int. You notice that parse int will return an int. Now what is this called as? You are going to study about some classes, the helper classes that will help you out with the basic data type. So what does it do? Now you are reading a text. Now what is this you're doing? Let me run it and let me show it. Let me save it and just run and show you. So you are typing something. Let's say the code is 101. You are typing here. So when you say get text, you are reading that text. Okay, it is text, remember, and you are converting, you are parsing it into integer. Even though it is a text, what is the meaning of it? It is a text. It is not an integer. 101 is a text. So this is a text, and what you are doing when you pass it, it becomes 101. Hope you know the difference between putting something in double quotes and putting something without double quotes. So it's going to convert it into integer and it's going to show that thing. In the same way, I'm going to even read the price from here. So let me do that thing. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say price. I've taken the variable as p here. So price p is equal to, okay, what is the variable, what is the text field that I've used for price? For price, I've used the word as price. Can you see the text field price? I've used that word price. So that text field that you see over here, let me run again. This text field that you run over here, this is called, even though what you can type something, this is called as price. That is the name I gave, price. Can you see there? Okay, price. So I'm going to say p is equal to price, okay, dot get text. Now it's going to return a text value. Okay, but Java is not happy. Java says that it is a text, but p is double. I can't take that thing, so I will again parse it. I'm going to say double dot parse double. You see there, parse double will parse it, parse the string into double value. So parse double, I'll keep it properly inside the circular bracket. So this, it's going to read it and it's going to convert it into the double. So if I run this one now, let me run it. If I run this one, so what's going to happen? It's going to take the price from here. It's going to take the price from here. Suppose if you type the price as 150.50, okay, it's going to take the value. When you say get text, it is going to be 150.50 in double quotes. It is a string. It's going to be parsed as double and it will be given as a 150.50. It will convert it into, in other words, it will convert that string into double. So you got that part. With that done, let's do the calculation. What does the calculation says? So the calculation says here is if the code is 101, 15% is the discount amount. Okay, 15%. Let's do that thing. So let's start with the if statement. If code equals, okay, where is that thing gone? Equals, C is also, should I take, okay, code equal 101. Okay. If the code is 101, what is that I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to calculate the discount. What is the discount? Discount is price into 0.15, 15% discount. I know that, see here, if the code is 101, discount is 15%. I calculate 15% is 0.15, 15%. Okay, And what is the net amount? Net amount is whatever is the price minus discount. So from the 100 rupees you have to reduce 15 rupees, and that will be the net amount. Else, else I'm going to go for the second condition. What's the second condition? Second condition is if the price is 102, discount is 20%. Let me do that thing. I'm going to copy this if statement as it is, full if statement. Control C to and Control V. Okay, and if the code is 102, what is the discount? If the code is 102, the discount amount is 20%. The discount amount is 20%. So let me make it as 20% is the discount amount. Okay, done. Else if, I'm going to copy this whole thing, else if, Control C and Control V. Okay, if the discount is 30%, I think okay, I will optimize this code slightly. Give me a second. I will optimize it. I'm not going to confuse you at the beginning. And let me make it as 103. What is this 103? 25%. So the discount is 25%. Otherwise, else, what is the discount? Discount is, let me copy this one. Discount is Control C and Control V is 5%. What is 5 is not this 0.5, it is 0.5, 5%. 0.5 means 50%. Okay. Otherwise, if for anything else, it is 5%. So if the code is 101, discount is this. If the code is 102, discount is this. If the code is 103, and otherwise this is it. Now I said I'm going to optimize it. What is it? Suddenly something struck me. See, we are repeating this code. Okay, this line is not really required. I'll keep it only once. You can keep it. There's nobody is going to find faults with you, but I'll take this and keep it outside. Net calculation I will do it outside, so that only one line will be there. You just calculate the discount amount, and finally, okay, one among them will be the discount amount. Either 15% is the discount amount, 20% is the discount amount, 25% is the discount amount, or 5% is the discount amount. And finally, depending upon whatever is the discount amount, you just calculate only once. You just calculate and say that this is the net price. Now what is that? I am supposed to do it. I am supposed to show those values. Whatever I have done the calculation here, I am supposed to show them. Now I am supposed to show this one here. I will use the other arrow. Let me do it one more time. I am supposed to, where is that? Okay, I am supposed to show the net amount here and the discount amount here. This time I am supposed to set the value, not the get the value. I am going to do that thing. Okay, let me do it. Once I know what is the discount amount and once I have calculated the net amount, I am going to go to this text box here. Now what is this? That 0 you are getting it here. From where you are getting this text box and this text box? What is the name? If you go up and see, I gave two names. One is DISC, this name you see there, DISC, and the other name was net. So this label that you see over here, this label, it is referenced as DISC. This label that you see over here, it is referenced as net. So you have to set for the values for that. Let me go here and let me close this one. Okay. And let me do that part over here. So DISC is the label, and I'm going to say set text. Remember, get means you are getting the text, set means you are setting the value. Set the value as D. Now D is not a text. Now it says I am expecting you to type a text.
but it is not a text. Suppose if I press enter, you will get an error saying that it is a double, it is not a text. How do you quickly convert something into a text? Answer is very simple. For anything, if you add, this is called as concatenation, if you add a text, any text, there is a blank text, this is blank text. If you, this is a text with the space, this is a text with some letters. If you add a text to, this is blank text, without anything, it's also double quotes, immediate double quotes is a text. With the space also it is a text, with the number also it is text, with this. If you add a text to anything, it just becomes a text. Okay, so this is the simplest way. I just add a text to this, it becomes a text. So remember that for anything, you take anything, add a text, it simply becomes, so this thing suddenly becomes text. Okay, so let's run it and let's see whether I am getting the discount. Let me run it. Okay, the value I'm going to put is 101, the price I'm going to put is 100, the name is I'm not using it, so whether I type it or not is not going to make any difference. I'm going to click on compute and I get 15% here. Okay, I have set the text. Next thing I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to set the price. So let's set that thing. That is a net price. What is the name I gave to that is the net here. So I'm going to go here and let me go here and I'm going to say net dot set text done is what is it? Okay, n plus the text. You can, if you want, if you feel like, sir, what is this? You are, if you want, you put a space. Without space also it is a text. With the space, with the 10 space also, everything it is just a text. So this is, even though n is n is double, it just becomes a text. When you add concatenate, that word is concatenate. When you concatenate, it just becomes a text. Now if you run it, now if you run it, and if you run the code 101 as the code, okay, let me show that thing. 101 is the code, 15% is the discount, name is Java programming. Remember, when you take the printout, you just give some Java programming. Okay, name Java programming. I'm not going to type the name here onwards because name I'm not using it for any calculation. Price is 100 rupees. If you say computer, discount amount is 15 rupees, remaining is, okay, that is it. If the code is 102, okay, compute it, the discount is 20%, not this, it's if you like this, okay, discount is 20% and price is that. If the code is 105, 5% is the amount and it's going to work. It's working for all of them. Now only thing is, when I click on this clear button, all the things must be cleared. Okay, so let's do that thing. Okay, let's go ahead and let's do that thing. I'm going to remember what is that I'm supposed to do. When I click on this clear is not listening to anything. It's not listening to anybody. I want that clear button to listen to the actions that are being performed and then take the action. So let's go to this clear button. What is the name that we gave to this clear button is B10 CL, yeah, button clear. Okay, let's give that name. Okay, let's go down, completely down, but not outside this one. So this is the inside this book constructor itself. So this is a book constructor. If you get confused, where is the constructor, go here, click on this yellow color highlights will be there, go and search for the yellow color highlight. Inside this you are supposed to do it. Okay, so inside this I'll start with the BTN clear dot, I have to set the action listener. I want it to say that action listener. Okay, BTN clear set action listener. Okay, what does why it is saying
sorry, not to set, sorry about that. We don't say set, it's supposed to say add, sorry about that. Add action listener, we are adding some action listener, a new action listener. I will quickly do it this time, there is nothing much to be done. Action listener, and when I select this one action listener, NetBeans will say that I will create a anonymous class, and I'm going to implement the action performed method. So that's well and good. Click here and click drag downwards. Okay, press delete button, it's gone. Press enter here, and you are supposed to take an action here. So what is the action performed? What is the action that you are supposed to perform when you click on the clear button? When you click on this clear button, let me run it. When you click on the clear button, you have to clear whatever that is typed here and whatever that will appear here. So how do I do that? I have to get the reference to all of them. What are all of them? All of them are, this is the code, this is the name, this is the price, discount, net. All of them has to be set with the blank values. So let me do that thing. So I am going to start with the code. Remember the text box. Let me run it and just show you. This text box that you see here is okay. Okay, this text box that you see over here is referenced as code. Okay, so the variable associated with that text box is code. So that is why I'm writing code here. Okay, let's go here and let me do that. Code dot set text blank. So you are clearing it, and so that is what is called as clearing. Okay, then what was the next one? Name dot set text. You are setting the text. Remember, two words are there. Set the text is to put the values in the text box. Get, it means reading that value. So you are writing into text box, reading into text box. So name, and last one was the price dot set text, okay, blank. And there are two labels over there. One is the discount label, DISA dot set text. So set text, and I will put the value as 0 here, because when you started it appeared like 0. Okay, and net dot set text, also I'm going to put the value 0. Why did you do blank here, and why are you doing this? I'm doing it because when you run this thing, when you start it, you notice that by default 0 was coming here. So if I type anything and type anything and then say clear, these values must be cleared. So can you see that? If you want, I will zoom in for you. When you type here and say clear here, clear, and this value must be there. Suppose if you type the code as 101 and some name, say Java and some name, okay, Java and something, you type the name, okay, and the price is 100, say 100, and you say computation, everything is done. Now if I say clear, what must be done? It must come back to the previous case. So when I click on clear, all these things must go, and this must appear like 0, how it appeared before. Okay, so that is why I have set it all to 0. So with that I have completed the code. Now only thing, now this is extra thing. With that you are done. You just show it to your external examiner, say it is working, and go home happily. Okay, suppose if you want to mess up, you can adjust the space in between them. Okay, here you said when I created this grid here, where is that grid gone? Set layout grid. You see, when I started with the grid here, I set 6,2. If you want, you can specify additional horizontal and vertical alignment. So when I said 2,2, or let me make it 3,3, just to highlight and show you. 3 and 3, why it is 3 is not coming. Okay, just save it and run it. This is two extra thing, you can ignore it, 100% you can ignore it. But if you want to get it, what is it happening? You see that there is a small space in between them. Can you see that? It looks nice. So suppose if I type 100 and 1 and something, and the price is 100, and if I say compute, it looks beautifully. Can you see that it looks beautiful? Okay, so if you if you put an extra space here, this is, where is it gone? If I just put 5 and 5 here, horizontal and vertical spacing will be adjusted for you. Okay, if I run this one, let me show you. You see that extra space has come. This is the vertical and horizontal, in between the control horizontal. So what is the meaning of it is when you create a box here, one and the other separation, okay, this separation, and one below the other separation, otherwise they will touch each other. So they will simply touch one another. So this and this the next one will also touch here and come without a gap. Now if you want that gap in between, so here, can you see that gap in between? Then you set the value here, extra two values. Okay, how many gaps you want? 5 pixel, 10 pixel, 100 pixel, you can do it. That's extra thing, that's not really required, but if at all you want to do it, you can do it. That's all in this video. Thank you for watching. We will meet again in the next video.